So speaking of which, Hana, let's talk about you for a moment, shall we?
Sure, we shall.
So your name is Hana Hatae, and you are an actress residing in the Bay Area. But before moving
San
to the Bay
Francisco
Area,
Bay Area.
Mm-hmm. The best part.
right? So we're also from the Bay Area. We're from San Jose.
San
Michael
Jose,
and I are.
yeah.
Oh, both of you. Well, Ryan,
Yeah.
I knew you were, but I didn't know you were, Michael.
I am.
Mhm.
Bay Area representative.
That's right. And with that, we can move on to the next point, which is that you acted in a show called Star Trek The Next Generation for an episode, an introduction, and then a whole slew of episodes in Star Trek Deep Space Nine,
Just a few.
which is why so many nerds like myself were like, whoa, it's Hana Hatae.
I know who that is. Yeah, you may have heard of that show. You know, it's a little show called Star Trek. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me. Hi, guys.
And now you took a long hiatus from, say, like acting and from really like the public limelight, but then you started going back to conventions and such a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first big thing you noticed when you went to your first convention? Was it just how many people there are? Was it how many Star Trek actors were actually doing this weird thing? Or was it just how nice everybody was? You're like, or were you like, because I would think in your shoes, my first thought would be like, really? You guys still care? Like, you guys want to buy autographs and meet me? You know, like if you've been out of that world,
Yeah.
you have no perspective to know that just, yeah, we love this kind of stuff.
No idea of what was going on. Yeah, so honestly, like I had no idea what kind of cult following Star Trek had. You know, I did this when I was a little kid, and what it was like 6, 8, I don't know, it was a pretty long portion of my life when I was a child, but I did it for so long, and then I stopped doing it. So Ryan, like you said, I was totally out of touch with what was going on in the acting world or even in the Star Trek world. Like
Lucky for you.
My family wasn't, they weren't fans. They were just fans because I was on it, you know, so they didn't really keep in touch with all of it. But going to my first convention, I mainly did it for fun because I was like, well, you know, let's see what's up with this. Like it would be fun. It was more for like the fun aspect, I guess, just to see the world of Star Trek. Because I think at that time more movies were coming out, and I don't think there was a new show at the time. But no, there was just, I just knew there were so many different shows, and that a couple of my good friends were also fans. Like I would come home when I was living with some old roommates, and they'd be watching. I'd like walk in and I'd be on the screen and I'd be like, you guys are watching it again. So that's like kind of how I knew it was more popular than I thought it was. And then going to the convention was definitely humbling, and I guess that's a good way to put it. It was kind of humbling and a bit shocking. I didn't anticipate it at all. Like Ryan, you mentioned how you'd kind of be in shock, like, why are all these people still wanting photos with me, wanting my autograph? And I never realized people, like, this changed, Star Trek changed people's lives.
Right.
And had I not gone to the conventions, I never would have known that, you know. And it was really cool to go there and talk to people and see how it's affected them. And it's just, yeah, it's a great experience going to the conventions because it was such a long gap between finishing actual Star Trek and like going back into the Star Trek world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you, if I remember correctly, there was a moment that you shared with Mr. Colomini when you first saw him in the hallway. Is that right?
Yeah, it was in the green room. So I realized he was going to be there, and I hadn't seen him for like 15 years because we didn't keep in touch after we finished filming. And I was like, okay, this is going to be great. I got to figure out a way to kind of startle him when I've seen him for the first time. And I just walked into the green room and I saw him there and I ran up to him and I was like, "Hi, Daddy." And he looked up and he was like, "Holy, it's my mommy." And, though I haven't grown height-wise very much, I definitely look much older than I did at the end of filming. So yeah, he was shocked for sure. It was really funny.
That's awesome. I haven't had a chance to ever meet Colum or Rosalind. Is there anything you can tell us about them that we might not have known from, something we might not have known from like watching interviews or panels with them?
I would assume that they would be just as nice in panels and interviews as they were to me, but they honestly were like second parents. Like even once the camera stopped rolling, like once we were cut, it was they still treated me like their daughter.
Aww.
It was not any different. Like it wasn't like, cut, all right, go into another room and like, let's stop talking. It was like they still sat and chatted with me and, made sure I was good and hung out, even though my mom and or dad would, like my actual mom and or dad would be there. They would still treat me just the same every time, whether we were on camera or off. So they're truly genuine people. And I'm honestly bummed that we didn't keep in touch over the years. But every once in a while, I do talk to Rosalind on Twitter. That's like our only contact with one another. But it's nice to know that she's doing well. And other than that, I see Colum at conventions every once in a while.
Rosalind was in Mulan recently.
I know. I'm so excited to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did it come out yet or no?
I believe it just did, right?
It did. Disney Plus. Okay. I think you have to rent it, but I think it's going to be worth it. It looks amazing.
I just want to see it because Rosalind's there. When I saw the trailer, I was like, "Whoa, Keiko!"
I know her.
Yeah. So now awesome. I want to see it.
Yeah, and I think it's an all-Asian cast, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, nice.
So
probably.
That's a really cool thing. I fully support being Asian myself. Well,
I do remember liking the original cartoon, the original Disney cartoon. Yeah. So I can't imagine this movie's gonna be bad. Mike,
some of the fight scenes look amazing.
Now you have 2 movies to watch.
What's the first one?
Both Mulans.
Oh.
I was like, wait, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I already moved on to the next
I was
thing.
Confused, too. I was like,
did we talk about another movie he was I don't remember. Okay, yes.
Both Mulans.
Cartoon and live action. Get on it.
And since then, Hana, you've dabbled a bit in acting over the last few years.
A little bit.
I remember talking to you when we first met. I think it was just online, and said, are you still interested in getting back into acting? And you were like, actually, kind of am.
Why not? Let's make this happen. Yeah, no. So you hit me up via the interwebs after my first convention, and it was about Fifth Passenger, and you had asked me like, are you still interested? And I said, sure, let's do this. Let's do the damn thing. Sorry if I'm not supposed to say that.
You're
D
fine.
Word.
Thing is fine, right?
The D thing.
Yeah. I said
that
shit a brick earlier, so.
That's true. Okay, D thing sounds dirtier than damn thing. So let's do the damn thing. And so Fifth Passenger, that was actually the first thing I had done after stopping Star Trek. So that was 15 years, a 15-year gap between the two. It was so much fun. Just being on set, it was very nerve-wracking at first, of course, doing anything that you haven't done in forever, anything new is going to be stressful and nerve-wracking, but also very exciting. So on my way there, of course, very nervous. But once I got in on the set and, met everybody and kind of got a feel of everything, it was just like back in the old days on set. So it was a great time.
You got to share a scene with Darnell Davis, our good pal.
Davis. We love Darnell.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And Miss Morgan Lariah.
Yep. It's a good
So,
trifecta there. But you also acted in something called Renegades, which is an especially happy memory for me because you and I shared our scenes together.
We were in the same crew.
And yeah, I love that so much because there were 5 of us that were the bridge crew of the USS Archer. It was you, there was me, there was our good buddy, Mr. Aaron Eisenberg. There was Madison Russ, who is Tim Russ's daughter. He directed it as well. And our captain was Corin Nemec, who is Parker Lewis Can't Lose. He was also in Stargate. So that was just such a fun crew. And I wish we could have continued on because I was like, that's a bridge crew for the ages.
I thought we were gonna. I honestly thought we were doing well. Maybe fingers crossed we can still get something going after this crazy pandemic. But yeah, that was crazy. That was a really fun. That was more fun in a way because, I mean, we already knew each other.
Right.
So I was working with you and Aaron and, I didn't know Corin or Madison at the time, but other behind the scenes crew people that I had worked with or just met before. So, you know, being with friends and, you know, your film family, it makes it that much more exciting. But I remember Corin broke his foot that morning or that night or something.
Ouch.
Yeah, he breaks his everything before. Like in the first Renegades too, he showed up with like a broken leg cast. Like literally every time he's filming with us or presumably with anybody, he breaks a leg or an ankle or something. Like that's just his thing. Maybe it's like a superstition. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was
he
crazy.
Really is going out there and breaking a leg.
That's what there it is.
Yeah, I mean, but that shows he's a great actor, you know. He pulled it off with ice. He's like just that morning dropped a huge weight on his foot and had just like a bag of ice on it and was killing it. So, but that was a really good time.
So what we'll do is we'll make sure to include your social media stuff down below. Everybody follow her on Twitter, please. She is dangerously close to 1 million followers. Please be that 1 million. She's like at 999,000, like what is it, 740? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Right, just
all right, hold on. Let me just go right now. Let me
just right there. Yeah, I've been taking a break from Twitter actually. Mainly on Instagram. Yeah, Twitter is a dangerous tunnel to go down.
Yeah. Any comments on Twitter, Michael?
Nope. She said it all.
Yeah. So let's move on. Everybody, be sure to check out the description box below and comment on what a delight Hana has been as of yet today.